Hi guys, and welcome to another episode of Marketing in the Madness. Now, I feel like I'm recording some of my favorite content at the moment, and I have the lovely, I'm going to say your name right, Elizabeth Azide.
Close.
Is that?
Close.
Oh, nearly.
Yeah.
Hate it when I get it wrong.
It's a tricky one.
Go on.
I've only just now come into it myself. It's Azide.
Azide.
Oh, yes.
I mean, that sounds
Azide.
much cooler and more beautiful.
I'll let my parents know. They'll appreciate that. Yes.
Is.
Thank you. It's one of those names where it's tricky. It's really short. It's only 5 letters, right? Azide. But it's also confusing enough to be like, how do I say it, right? But I as you get older, you kind of come into your names more, right?
Well,
so
I've therefore already learned something on today's podcast.
And I'll give you a little trick, Katie. The best way to remember how to say my last name, Azide. Make every day an Azide. Okay.
Oh,
There
boom.
Right?
Yeah. We're starting good today, guys.
Just saying, make every day an Azide. You can't go wrong.
So, as you can already tell, today's episode's going to be lively because I'm not going to say Azide because I feel like I'm going to get it wrong now. But both me and Elizabeth have got quite big personalities.
Yeah.
We both love shopping, I'm going to guess.
Absolutely. Yes.
And especially Elizabeth because she's the CMO of BigCommerce. So she's super, super close to what retailers are doing to get further faster, how technology's evolving. And I love nothing more than talking about shopping. So here we go. I'm going to learn some stuff today.
Boom! And I must say, I'm so honored that you have promoted me in that sentence. I am not yet the CMO of BigCommerce completely. I am senior director of marketing for EMEA. I'm effectively the CMO of EMEA, effectively, right? But just for to be clear, right? Not quite there at the moment, but as far as day to day, I do oversee all things marketing for the European region. So yeah, but I like it aspirational.
Yes, exactly. That's what I'm all about.
Effectively CMO of EMEA, which is an absolute honor. So yeah.
Give her a promotion, big time. It's happening. We're going to put that out. We'll send that.
We have an amazing global CMO who I learned so much from, and she's really empowered me to continue leading the charge here in Europe. So senior director of BigCommerce Inc. That includes BigCommerce, the eCommerce platform, our kind of core business. We have 60,000, even more than that now, brands using the platform to power their online storefronts. Brands like Anderton's Music, Grenson, Muji, White Stuff, big clothing brands, and even more. And then the other half of the business is a business called Feedonomics. That's our data feed management solution, really powering everywhere that your products can be listed across the internet and empowering seamless data aggregation and orchestration and essentially making sure that the way you want your products and your data to be consumed, that it's consumed accurately, that it's discoverable, findable, all that stuff. So all that together makes BigCommerce Inc. And I get to lead the charge on all things marketing and awareness and growth for all things EMEA.
Love this. I'm so excited. Now, we are going to mainly talk about retail tech.
Yes.
And all the amazing things that you guys are seeing, powering, and I guess kind of your view on, what a good shopping experience looks like.
Totally.
Because I'm actually going shopping this afternoon, so I can put it into play.
Sure.
Tell me which stores to go to.
100%.
But before I do that, sorry, this wasn't in the brief, but as I've already told you, I like to go with the brief.
We're already going off script, everyone.
Okay. I know. I just like to really
strap in.
Yeah. Get my guests nice and scared right at the beginning of the podcast.
Get the blood pump.
Yeah.
Awesome.
But obviously you're running marketing for a tech company now.
I am.
That's kind of what my business does. Obviously, we do content events mainly for tech companies like BigCommerce. Well, that's how we know each other because we've worked together.
Yep.
Tell me about what good marketing is looking like for you guys right now. What kind of things are you focused on? What kind of content? Like, what's the BigCom go-to-market strategy?
100%. I'm glad you asked, Katie, because I've been at BigCommerce Inc. for almost 7 years now. I joined in August 2018 in Austin, where we're headquartered, and I've been able to see us evolve and transform so many times. And we're in a really exciting juncture now where, going into the new phase requires leaning into new and exciting areas of opportunity and leaning into aspects of our solution that are really uniquely addressing what we believe to be the pains and problems of our target audience. So that being said, one of our big themes at the moment is this idea of curated composability. It's kind of a mouthful. It's mostly an internal phrase. We're kind of, workshopping different ways of externalizing that, but it's the idea of enabling retailers and businesses to adapt and utilize and mix and match the technologies that they uniquely need to deliver the experience that is relevant and most important to them. Essentially, the idea of being able to curate whatever your tech stack is that aligns to your goals. Right? Whether you're more content led, whether it's more, whether you're doing online and in store, you need to kind of be able to unify that, whatever it might be, and whatever the solutions that complement that is, we want to enable you to curate that without being boxed in to really rigid solutions. But at the same time, having enough to give you out of the box to get you going and make sure that you can, treat the platform as your core engine, while still enabling that API-led connectivity into whatever the supporting solutions are that you might also be using in your business. So as far as what we're seeing work, what works in general in marketing, I think, is being able to tap into a pain and be seen as the solution to that pain, right? So we do a lot of thought leadership, right? A lot of content around solving complex use cases. Maybe you have tons and tons of SKUs and you're selling across multiple channels. How do you keep everything consistent across channels, right? Maybe you have 500,000 SKUs and you need to be able to relatively easily make updates at, in one fell swoop that impact listings across a multitude of channels. And that's kind of where our Feedonomics data feed business comes into the mix, right? So that being said, the more we can talk about, how we can meaningfully address the day-to-day pains that retailers and e-commerce leaders and decision makers are dealing with, the better the marketing is, because then it's relevant, right? And I like to use the phrase with my team. I lead a marketing team of demand generation marketers and partner marketers and event marketers, content creators, etc. I like to talk about contextualized ubiquity. So ubiquity would be the idea of like, we have to be everywhere that everyone is. We have to be at every event, every show, every, content piece, every search, etc. That's not actually the case. You need to be everywhere in the context that's relevant to whoever your target audience is. And that really, if you really think about it that way, it kind of narrows the aperture as far as like, okay, I need to figure out where are my consumers, and this is both from a SaaS perspective and as a retailer too, right? When you're dealing with trying to attract your target shoppers, really getting an acute understanding of the touch points and where the people that you want to engage with your solution, where are they? And am I everywhere they are? That's going to be a certain type of trade show or a certain type of publication or a certain type of SEO search that you want to rank for. Long-winded answer.
No, that's really good. But do you know what? You pick up two things that are really important for me right now. Yeah. One is, I think, we work with a lot of, Mac Alliance members or composable tech companies. Yeah. And I think traditionally they're all going to go, we want to talk about composable. Yeah. And they go with this go-to-market strategy talking about composable. Yes. No one's sat there thinking, I need a composable solution. Let me buy composable. I mean, maybe some people are, but most of them are talking or thinking to their colleagues and the frustrations that they've got within their business of, I can't do this. This is frustrating. Exactly. I'm stuck in my stack. I can't get out.
I can't do this.
So talking about I think being more niche and really dialing into the problems, and the events that we have done for you guys that have been really successful 100%. Have really dialed into a certain topic for sometimes within a certain sector or even with a certain demographic and really kind of dialed into the pain. And that's where you see fantastic, sign-ups, engagement, those conversations actually starting because you're being a lot more tailored and you're talking about the problem, not the solution. So, and the other problem, I just have to get this out and then we'll talk about retail. That I just see loads of tech companies do, not you guys, but it's try and sell themselves too early in the journey. Like, again, you've pointed out there is putting out thought leadership, content, being at the shows, being where your prospects are, but not, I think the other problem that I see so many tech companies do is instantly try and sell.
Yes.
You don't need to do that. Yep. If you can show them that you can help them, if you can give them thought leadership, content, ideas, things that will help them think and solve the problem, they come to you. You don't need, you need to sell at some point, obviously.
Completely. Yep.
But I think that's something else that I find, and also I know this from, my brother working in tech sales pretty much his whole life, is, they often, so many tech companies don't give the sales guys, the SDRs, BDRs, whatever you call them. They don't give them the leads or the qualified marketing, MQLs that they then need to take forward. It's like, oh yeah, someone downloaded a report, off you go. Or someone did. Like, so I think there's quite a lot of, we've got a real opportunity in our space, I think, to do marketing well and show people how to do it. More human stuff like this.
Everything. That's why I'm snapping, Katie. You're absolutely nailing it. And just getting more into the B2B SaaS kind of marketing kind of specifics and nuances here. This is exactly why we should be striving to be in a constant conversation. We should be in a constant conversation. We should treat our marketing and our go-to-market efforts as SaaS or B2B, really any company that you have, you should see it as an opportunity to be in a constant conversation with your target market, knowing that you don't know when they may or may not be ready to buy, right? On average, only 10% of your target market at any given time is actually in market looking for your solution.
Apparently 5%.
Oh, even worse.
Even less. Even less. So the B2B Institute, unless it's been updated, I had them on the podcast earlier this year.
Okay.
5%. Only 5% of them are ready to buy you when you want to sell to them. So if you're only ever talking to 5%, you're crazy.
And that's the thing. That's why you have to be talking to that 95% all the time to be able to be in their mind once they are ready to make that purchase decision.
When they've got that itch to scratch.
And that's my goal as a marketer, as a marketing leader, as a marketing strategist. I want to be able to occupy that mind share such that my solution is what's triggered in the mind whenever that person is ready to make a decision or ready to actually learn more. So don't underestimate the importance of always talking. Like, if someone downloading a report and not converting, that is not a loss. That's good. That's you starting to occupy some mind share. That's you starting to position yourself as a solution. That's you starting to associate your brand with a problem that needs solving, right? It's a constant conversation. Yeah.
Love that. That's going to be a clip. There you go, guys.
Oh, yeah. There it is. There it is. Yeah.
Moving from B2B to well, I'm sure you do work with some B2B, but
totally
mainly B2C.
Yeah.
When it comes to B2C, when it comes to the world of shopping, things have changed massively.
We have.
Like, technology is evolving all the time. I think the big thing for me, and one of the things I really want us to dig into, is how social media has changed things, how Gen Z buying behaviors are changing. And I think you made a really good point when we were talking about what we were going to talk about today, is it's not just about the journey on the platform that you own. You've got to look at things more holistically.
Completely.
So give me the Elizabeth view on what's going on when it comes to, well, I guess people finding the products they want to buy.
100%. I'll give you the Elizabeth view, and the view as, validated by a ton of research as well. So BigCommerce, we actually surveyed a lot of our own clients to really get really concrete insights around this. So there's a lot of assumptions flying around what Gen Z does or doesn't do, or different buyer cohorts and behaviors. But the best source to validate any idea is look at the data, look at what you have available to you to really form conclusions, and then build off of that, right? So for us, when we surveyed our own clients, we found that, close to 50% of Gen Z shoppers in particular were discovering e-commerce products before reaching the website on search, social, content channels, all that jazz. Right? If people think that in 2025 or whatever year you're watching this, right, we want this to be relevant and useful whenever you're watching it, but people aren't going straight to your website anymore. Some other buying cohorts, generational cohorts, might be, but for the most part, right, there's 2 billion Gen Zs on Earth right now. 2 billion. Isn't that wild? Right? I'm like, whoa, how did that happen all of a sudden? This is insane, right? But that is going to soon be the bulk of where the buying power lives, in the years to come. I think a lot of buying power is still in millennials and Gen X and those cohorts for now. But that being said, in terms of recognizing, hey, the people that you're marketing to are experiencing more and more channels and touch points than ever. Which means that while it's important to deliver a compelling on-site experience, that's kind of your digital front door is your website, and you want to, curate that really thoughtfully. You also want to curate the experience across the internet, right? So really taking time to invest in what your presence and brand looks like on TikTok, on Instagram, on Google Shopping, on Amazon, eBay, so on and so forth. It feels like a lot, which is why you want to use solutions that help simplify that for you. But it's important because you don't want to lose the opportunity to be able to establish that brand recognition and familiarity before they reach your website. And then same thing before they reach your physical store as well, if you have a physical store. But that's key. Be on the other channels.
Yeah. I mean, if we think about it, let's be honest, I'm just about a millennial, I think.
Yeah.
I am millennial. Yeah. My daughter's actually Gen Z.
Totally.
But I find everything, we spoke about this before, I find everything that I want to buy on Instagram. Honestly, nearly everything. And even I will go to watch the influencers, show the stuff from Zara or show, there's not much. I mean, today I am going to go shopping in store.
Totally.
Dragged around Westfield and, probably spend way too much money on my daughter. We're going to do our spring summer wardrobe update happening today, guys.
There you go.
Yeah.
Watch the space for new looks.
That is so rare. I mean, it's lovely. I'm really excited for us to do.
Well, let me chime in on this actually, because I think what you and your daughter are doing today is a great example of how the in-store experience is never going to go away, right? Ever. And there's a time and place for it. In fact, PricewaterhouseCoopers, a big global consultancy, conducted some research that uncovered that essentially majority of the consumers surveyed, 60 or 70%, something like that, indicated that they would still prefer an in-store experience if they had the opportunity. As humans, I mean, again, internet and digital experiences critical and growing and growing and growing, but it's not necessarily replacing the in-store. It's about everything has a time and place, right? We're still tactile people. We still like experiences, like you gallivanting your daughter around town and going to stores. That's a special experience. You can't replicate doing that same thing online. So I think that's something to be said for the fact that y'all are carving out a whole afternoon for in-person shopping, because that's still an experience people value. So if you are a brand that is doing both digital and physical online experiences, leveraging things that lift both is really, really important. I think that anyone who, whether you're a CMO or a performance marketing leader or anyone who is responsible for performance across channels, you should be seeing each channel as a vehicle for supporting the other channel too. Again, this is especially if you do have both in-store and online businesses, right? So for example, just continuing on the offline talk track, there's this thing called local inventory ads. This is an idea. It's also a product that one of our brands offers, Feedonomics. But it's the idea, to put it practically, right? Say you want to see, size small pink blazer near me. How nice would it be to be able to know what store near you actually has that in stock at the moment that you can pop over to, grab it, and not necessarily have to wait, 5 to 7 days or whatever it might be, right? Speaking to the convenience piece of it, there are some people that when they're in a pinch, it is likely more convenient to be able to go run to the shop to grab something than wait online or whatever it might be, right? So as a retailer, retailers should be leveraging tools that can also support convenience-driven in-store purchases, right? By making sure that you have technology that enables you to be listed in relevant, very specific searches like that. One of our brands, Feedonomics company, a customer of ours, Charles Turwitt, uses this big, UK men's clothing brand, right? Another one of our customers has seen their customer acquisition costs. That's a really, really big metric when it comes to assessing, efficiency in marketing and all that stuff is CAC, customer acquisition cost. They saw their costs go down by 44% after they launched local inventory ads. Again, by making themselves findable based on highly specific searches for whatever the product is, whether it's clothing, whether it's automotive equipment, a tire you need, or whatever it might be, by being able to say, hey, on 9th and, Bloomington Avenue, we've got this exact SKU you need. Come on in. Fantastic, right? Yeah. I could go on that.
I need that this afternoon.
Right. The tick tell you where to go.
Yeah.
Yes.
I want these really basic white Nike low cut, low cut socks.
Yeah.
Like not really high, but a little bit high. They look cute with
For sure.
with these kind of trainers that I'm wearing. But I don't know where I was going to have them, so I'm going to have to traipse around and try and find them. And it would be so much easier if I could go and search. Well, maybe I will, and maybe Feednomics are going to help me.
And hopefully we can. You also maybe think about the importance of metadata too. Not to get too technical, but like making sure that wherever you're listed, that you are findable across any variation that someone might search.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it might be difficult to articulate. Okay, I'm looking for like low rise socks or low rise shoes or show the ankle. However you might input it, making sure that like your tooling enables you to be findable based on any variation of input. So really, to the retailers who are listening or watching, really audit your tech stack. And if you don't have the ability to scalably and consistently do that yourself in terms of auditing all your metadata and descriptions and the alt text and all those image text and all that stuff, really think about, okay, how much of my business do I anticipate coming from channels like this?
Yeah.
Right? And then do I have the tooling necessary to enable that, right? And if you're a brand that has 4 or 5 at least physical stores in addition to your online business, you would probably benefit from a managed service that does all this for you. And it's all about, again, going back to the importance of delivering experiences that allow you to be found across channels. The name of the game is discoverability. Discoverability. If your brand can't be found, you've lost the sale before you've even had the opportunity to generate it, right? So,
I mean, it's some of the B2B rules apply, right? In terms of your paid ads, your go-to-market strategy for your B2C retail brand,
100%.
You've still got to be where your consumers are. But I think the flip change here is we're searching for things so much more regularly, for products, for things that are going to, that we want, need, whatever it might be. You usually want when it comes to shopping, when it's me. But we've got to, I think, as businesses, we've got to understand how the world is changing, how people's search is changing. Now, on that, another question that wasn't in the brief, but I'm going to put them out there.
Bring it, Katie. Bring it. So, we're going now.
Now, I haven't started to do this as much with retail shopping yet, but I probably will now we've had this conversation. I use ChatGPT or use Gemini or whatever you want to do searches for me for stuff all the time. Like literally, when I went skiing recently, I went on chat and I was like, this is I didn't really know my bearings of the place I was going skiing. I've been there before, but I've not stayed there before, skied there before, but I hadn't stayed there before. So I was like, I'm staying here. I want to know the nearest ski shop and, availability of these certain boots that I wanted to hire or whatever. And it could tell me. And it gave me the stores. It was like, this is the easiest one. This one. And I was like, which has got the best price? How can you tell me how long it's going to take me to walk from my, it was amazing. Now, I don't know if you guys are there yet, but this is something that's coming in. Like the results I get on Google are not as good as the results I get on ChatGPT. So how we search as consumers is changing all the time. We are now going to be using AI tools to help us search. I mean, I don't even have my head around how this all works yet. But for whatever reason, it gives me much better results, much easier results, it gives me the analysis. It gives me all the detail. It does everything for me. Like, I could have done that search on Google, but it wouldn't have been as easy for me to digest.
Completely.
So is that something that you guys are thinking about? Because it's here, right?
It is here.
How does it change things? Or does it change things?
It can change things. This is actually quite a philosophical question and debate, actually, as far as like the role of agentic AI, to use what is becoming a little bit of a buzzy term, but it is the term. What you're describing is agentic AI, right? Where you are literally interacting with a chatbot to accelerate your journey toward whatever it is you're looking for. So the debate that I'm referencing is that of, what does that do for the role of the brand experience? Right, especially if you are a brand pouring a lot of time and energy into the on-site experience and into the visuals and the journey and all of that stuff, right? Where does that end? And then where does the role of the agentic AI chatbot to accelerate the journey kind of begin? And I think it's both. So I think we're seeing that a lot. And we, as a BigCommerce, as the tech, solution, we are certainly investing in AI tooling to be able to enable a lot of efficiencies here. A lot of that is going to be launched and shared more soon. But I think at the end of the day, if you're a retailer or a brand or whoever, the goal is, what is going to enable me to drive conversions in the way that whoever is visiting my site is going to want to convert, right? It's important. Both parts of that sentence are important as far as what's going to drive conversions, but also in the way that whoever visits wants to convert, right? If you're a woman on the go like Katie Street, it makes sense to use ChatGPT and say, hey, where can I find these skis or these boots? And if I'm, Elizabeth's ski boots, a store, I want to be able to serve that information up to you to get you into my store and buy those boots. If you're someone who, maybe you want to go on a bit more of a journey and kind of do some comparison, right? And you want to look at different sites, you want to look at Elizabeth's ski boots, you want to look at Janet's ski boots too, and you want to look at all these stores and all that. That's where the brand experience on site is very important.
100%.
Your AI chatbot isn't going to necessarily help you win the experiential comparison journey.
Yeah.
Right?
And there's so much that goes in. I mean, of course, the digital experience, but the photography, the way it's shot, the way it's shown, the reviews. Like, I'm literally thinking, as we sat here talking, I'm like, oh, and I think this is a client of yours, a customer of yours. I always say client, not customer. Doc Martens?
Yes, exactly. Yes, yeah.
So I'm actually, I love Doc Martens, and I'm quite friendly with a couple of the ladies that work there, leading the digital experiences actually. So I'm going to message them and get some undigital advice directly from them, because I want to buy some boots. I'm like, which are the comfiest? Which ones are going to, I'm going to get their recommendations.
Nice.
But I want tools to be able to do that. Like, if I could go on site and go which ones, from all of your customers have got the comfy rating, so that I can be because when I'm buying a pair of Doc Martens, I love the floaty cute dress with some a bit more androgynous, is that the right word? Boots. But I want to be comfy because I'm going to be stomping around London in them. I'm going to be going to events in them. Comfort is important.
100%.
Style and comfort is needed.
That's the London. That's the name of the game.
And we've got
fashion.
And I think that's the thing as retailers or as businesses across, we've got this information now. We've got the data, but we're not using it enough yet to create better customer experiences.
Bingo. I'm so glad you said it that way too, because you're
true, isn't it?
Businesses underestimate how much data they actually have. There's all this chatter and concern around, cookies went away and third-party data is so much more difficult to access and all that. Well, that's why first-party data, if you are a brand or a business or whatever it is, you are collecting information. You have a slew of data at your fingertips, but are you making the time to make sense of it and leverage it and feed it into a tool that can aggregate it and give you that output, right? That can say, oh yeah, it looks like these boots are actually the most commented on as far as comfort and, whatever it might be, traction, et cetera,
Speed for running around London.
Right? Speed.
Always late.
Walkability, runnability, all of that stuff, right? I think that is so important because not only in this day and age, but I think as business people and owners and workers and all of that, it's easy to just be so focused on okay, get the sale, do the work, get this out the door, launch this, versus recognizing, hey, what multiplied gains could be experienced by me making the time to really properly understand the data that I have, the trends that I'm seeing in the data. And what if I could leverage that to actually accelerate even more sales? Because I put this into a tool or something that can really, again, enable people on their journey to whatever it is they're trying to purchase. So I think something I say a lot to people that I speak to at conferences and things like that is take the time to understand your data and think about ways to leverage it. That in and of itself is a revenue generating activity because it can be a multiplier if you take the time to figure out, what's going on and then how to use it with that exact example you just shared. So yeah. Gosh,
it's giving me too many ideas about things I want to go and buy this afternoon now.
I'm so with you. I mean, hey, there's a lot out there to be bought. And the thing is, I just can't harp enough on the discoverability piece.
Yeah.
Right. And really, really taking that quite seriously. There's discoverability. And then, of course, you want to be discovered, but you also want to convert, like we've just been saying, right? So thinking about
the whole journey is important.
Journey. Yes.
Well, on that, I want to ask you something. Sorry to interrupt.
No, yeah.
I've got a burning question.
Yes, bring it.
Which retailer, BigCommerce customer or not, who do you think's absolutely nailing it?
So the retailer I always think of, I'm a big customer of this retailer. Okay, they're not a client yet. If you're
right, guys, we're going to send this to them.
Yeah, if
you should be.
Exactly. We can really, elevate what you're already doing well. But Zara.
Yes.
Zara has a fantastic site experience.
Well, apart from, oh my God, who is shooting the fashion? Have you seen the memes? Like, where it's like, what is that? Like, they're too, like, I have bought some stunning stuff in Zara.
Yeah.
On the website.
Yeah.
Sorry, Zara. Don't hate me. It looks crap. Like, the modeling, I love Zara.
For sure.
I am obsessed.
For sure.
I buy so much stuff from there.
Yeah.
Sorry, my one comment is, I think they're fashion shooting. I mean, that's kind of their thing.
I think it's kind of trendy though. Because I'm thinking on other sites too, as far as like
I know.
hyper moody kind of like, I don't know, like
maybe that's their ploy. It's like, you don't really know how this looks, so you've got to order it.
Right, exactly. It could be a tactic. How will it look on me though?
Do you know what? That's kind of like what estate agents used to do. Is like they wouldn't make it easy for you to QR code from they want you to phone them.
Totally.
So it's like you must order this because it kind of looks nice, but you're not sure.
Will it? But order it. Well, to this point, this is what Zara is doing very, very well. Ultimately, everyone, if you're in the business of the retail, you want to reduce as much friction as possible. You want to, again, I keep saying, accelerate the journey to the conversion, to the purchase and all of that. Reducing friction along the way is important, as well as, reducing your costs as a business. I'll give an example of what Zara does. So I was shopping on their mobile app very recently. Sidebar, don't underestimate the value of mobile apps. I feel like that's not being talked about as much as it used to be talked about in like the late 10s. Mobile apps are great, especially for loyalty and for consistency of experience. Think about it. That's my short plug for considering a mobile app. But I'm on Zara's mobile app, like I usually am. And I, like many people, you fluctuate sizes, right? Am I small? Am I medium? Am I medium? Am I this? Am I that? Da, 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 da. You fluctuate, right? So many people will default to buying things in multiple sizes and then return the one that actually is not the best fit, right? This, of course, if you're a retailer listening or watching, you know how costly this is. Returns are very costly. It's not sustainable. It's a whole thing, right? So I, not super proud of this, but I was being the problem. Yeah. And I put 2 pairs of trousers in my cart, small and medium. And what did I see when I clicked that second pair? Not sure of your size? Try our sizer. And I was like, you know what? I will.
Yeah.
And I clicked it and it had me enter my measurements and it told me, okay, this is what the size of these pants that you probably are. And it worked. It was accurate, and it allowed me to only buy the 1 pair of trousers, and it reduced, it eliminated Zara having to deal with a return and all that, which again is a huge sustainability thing and it's a very costly thing, right? But that is a good example of, reducing friction and accelerating the conversion, because a lot of purchasing comes down to like your own confidence in that purchase really making sense, right? And people will abandon the cart because maybe they're like, I don't really need it, or I don't really want it, or I'm not sure if it's going to fit or look well. And not just clothes, right? Like whether it's clothing, whether it's a cosmetic product, makeup. There's some brands who do really a good job of the color matching virtually.
Yes, I love that.
Right.
I've just done that. And it actually was pretty damn good.
Yeah.
And I was really panicky.
Yes.
Like, and it's like, it asks you like, look at your veins. Are they blue or green? Or I was like, I don't know. I can't decide what color they are. And then it's like, it's like, do you like this or like this? And I was like clicking on all these faces that I think I'm that. And then I was like, oh no, I've picked myself as way too dark. Like that's not right. It's going to be too dark.
Yep.
It's turned up.
Yep.
It's almost a perfect match.
That's
In
the
fact,
thing.
I think it might be, but I've got to get, they say, and also this particular brand, I'm sorry guys, because I have spoken about this recently already, but because I've just bought it. It's Il Maquillage.
I'm familiar with them.
No, I know. I keep saying to my daughter about it. So, do you know it? Do you know it? And she's like, they've obviously been Instagram selling to me
right.
exactly what
There
we
you go.
said earlier
Yeah, true.
for ages. And I've gone, oh yeah, okay, I'm now going to buy it.
Yeah.
But you get a 3 weeks trial. If I don't like it, I get to send it all back for free.
Nice. Yeah. The risk
And I
I
haven't even paid anything yet.
Yeah.
So I think again, shoppers are
I'm so glad you
getting
said that.
smarter because
Yes.
like there are certain purchases.
Yes.
No offense to guys, but I think especially for women, or trans or whoever, it's much harder to pick a that's something that I want to do in store most of the time because I know that I'm not going to get it wrong.
Exactly.
But retailers are getting smart to that, and they're making the digital experiences more frictionless, and I love that.
Frictionless, and then instilling trust too. Well, the example you just gave was a great example of a brand prioritizing trust building, right? By allowing you to buy something risk-free. We talked about Gen Z a little bit ago, and there's a really interesting book called Gen Z 360 by a woman. Her first name's Hannah. Hannah Ben Shabbat, I think, but just look up Gen Z 360. It's a book all about interacting with and dealing with the Gen Z cohort from a business perspective. Okay, and what this author unveils is how much more values driven that cohort is. And what triggered this in my mind, Katie, was you talking about that risk-free, like you can return it with no cost or whatever it is, and that trust. For those looking to better understand how to appeal to and crack and convert the 2 billion people who are comprising the Gen Z cohort, really understanding that they are one of the most conscientious, values-driven, cohorts of generations that we've seen thus far, right? And there are 4, I'm going to forget the fourth one, but there are 4 values that this author brings up in Gen Z 360. Authenticity.
Whilst you're doing it, I'm going to Google it for you.
Yes.
You go, and I'm going to Google it at the same time.
Gen Z, authenticity, individuality, goodness gracious. I'm missing the other 2.
Okay, we're
but
going to find it.
We're going to
what I've done?
Yeah.
I've not even gone to Google. Of course, I've gone to chat.
Incredible.
So the book's called Gen Z
360
book. What are the core
4 values?
Are the 4 values? Right.
Yes.
Here we go, guys.
Yes.
This is how
real time.
Yeah, we're gonna find it. And I'm gonna let you know. Here we go. The book, Gen Z 360, Preparing for the Inevitable Change in Culture, Work and Commerce by Hannah Ben Shabbat, outlines 4 core Gen Z values that are shaping how this generation behaves as consumers, employees, and citizens.
Yes.
Number 1, individuality.
Yes.
Love that. Authenticity. Number 2, they crave real, unfiltered, and transparent communication, which I also love.
Yep.
Convenience.
Yes, that's it. Yes.
They have grown up with instant access to information services and entertainment. I mean, we are like that.
Completely.
So
millennials are already like that.
Yeah.
Exactly. So it's even more accelerated for
Imagine these.
Yes.
And the last one, I think you were almost there, social impact.
Yes.
Gen Z cares deeply. You've already spoken about
Yes,
it. Cares
exactly.
deeply about social, environmental, and ethical issues.
Yeah.
Then see, this is why I love chat. So it sent me the results. Sorry, guys, you can't quite see, but sent me the results, and then it said, "Want a little breakdown on how brands can activate around these values too?"
Amazing.
This is why I go to chat.
Yeah, totally.
I freaking love
Gives
this.
you actionable the takeaways too. It's
I'm
incredible.
obsessed.
That's incredible.
Yeah, I'm going to say yes, but tell me what retailers should do.
Yes.
But make it about retail. Make it about, let's see what it says.
Boom. Let's see. Oh, wait, this is fun. Real time GPT.
About what
testing
retailers
here. Yes.
should do when it comes to e-com. So for individuality, when it comes to e-commerce, Gen Z doesn't want cookie cutter experiences. They want customized, personalized, and tailored everything. Exactly what you've said. I reckon you've covered all of this anyway. Like we're here for it, Elizabeth. We don't need ChatGPT. Retailers to do, use smart segmentation and AI to personalize product recommendations, content, and offers. Go and use BigCommerce. Let them build and customize products. Think things like Nike by You or Glossier's Build Your Own Sets. Love Glossier. Such a cool brand. Avoid one size fits all messaging. Speak to your niches, not the masses. Again,
Boom.
Probably all of these things you can do in BigCom.
We try to enable all of this, right? We try to enable, this sort of flexibility in terms of delivering the experiences that are important to the folks that you want to engage your brand. That's what it comes down to. Yeah.
I love this.
Yeah.
Next one, my favorite thing, authenticity. And I feel you get a lot of that on this podcast.
Yes, yeah.
What retailers should do, showcase real people, real stories, and real reviews, not just influencer gloss. So there's this whole rise of micro-influencers, isn't there right now?
Yes,
which
exactly.
I love.
Yes.
Be transparent about your pricing, where you source things from, sustainability, and even your mistakes. You need to own them. That gives people more I love that. Use UGC, so user-generated content, behind-the-scenes videos, and raw formats, especially on platforms like TikTok and Insta, to connect more authentically.
Boom. Keep it authentic.
Okay, these are my last things, and then we probably need to wrap up, but I'm gonna get through these. Convenience.
Yeah.
Retailers, streamline the checkout process. Number one, hello, one-click purchasing is what it says. Mobile first, fast load speeds. I know you guys work a lot with Stripe and other companies that enable this kind of stuff. Love it. Amazing. Offer multiple payment options, BNPL, Apple Pay, Klarna, real-time delivery tracking so they can see what's going on when that's actually super important, I think. And again, something else that we've started to talk about, use AI chatbots or live support to answer questions instantly. Sorry, I realize I'm like on the mic. Am I good? So excited. Oh my God. Why does ChatGPT make me so happy?
It's so wild.
Honestly, it really does.
Yeah.
Social impact, retailers to do. Make sure your sustainability and ethical commitments are visible and actionable on your product pages. Partner with causes that Gen Z care about: mental health, DEI, climate change, LGBTQ rights, etc. And let them shop by their values. Filter by sustainable, vegan, women-owned, etc. That's smart.
That's mattering more and more. Yeah.
That is really smart. TLDR. I like it. I love it when you kind of know when chat's written something when it says TLDR. Gen Z doesn't want to just buy from you. They want to feel like they belong with you. Oh, love you guys, Gen Z.
Wow.
If your e-commerce experience doesn't speak to who they are, what they care about, and how they live their lives, they'll scroll right past and never look back.
True.
Oh.
Yep. Indeed. Everything.
That's basically everything you said today.
I try.
You've said it all.
I've tried. Yeah. And that ChatGPT just distilled that so perfectly. And I think the summary there is, don't underestimate the things that are important to this up and coming key buying cohort. Right soon, and I want to emphasize this a bit too. Right now, I kind of touched on it a little bit in one of my comments earlier. Right now, majority of the buying power does still live with millennials and above, right? That's just the fact because we are more established and all that stuff. That being said, like I mentioned, 2 billion Gen Z human beings on planet Earth. They will soon be the core buying cohort. And these are the values that they are growing up having instilled in them in this social media age, right? This is the messaging that they are consuming. It's all about sustainability and values and individuality and authenticity and trust and conscious consumption and all of that stuff, right? So just don't underestimate the role of those elements in people making a buying choice. Right. It's not just about, the cheapest and fastest available product anymore.
Yeah. I love that.
Yeah.
Elizabeth, before I let you get on with the rest of your day, I mean, I could just sit here talking.
Well, totally.
Let's just stay. Let's just stay.
Yeah.
Anything else that we haven't covered that you want our lovely listeners to know, to feel, to go and do?
Yeah. The solutions that will accelerate whatever your goals are out there. Make the time to find them. Make the time to do the research, right? Don't make default decisions. You right? Have an acute understanding of what it is you're trying to uniquely achieve and do the work to make sure that you are utilizing the tools, the solutions, the people that are going to enable you to reach those specific goals, right? Just take the time to do that. And there's room for everyone to win ultimately if you make that time. That's my maybe final concluding thought. Yeah.
I love that. Do you know what? It's so true though. Like I think we're so worried sometimes, we're going to be sold to.
Yeah.
But I think as people leading these brand experiences. And for me, even with my business, like one of my core things is to say to the team now, I want them to go and get demos from tech companies. Like technology is what's going to get us further faster. We need to understand and listen to podcasts like this, how the technologies can help us. So go do it. Go search out the platforms. Go get a demo. And investigate what technology can help you do.
And then let it elevate you, right? Do the work, research, and then ultimately let it elevate everything you're trying to do. Couldn't agree more.
Amazing.
Yay.
High five.
Oh.
Amazing. Thanks, Elizabeth.
Thank you, Katie.